In the world around us, there are individuals whose intentions remain concealed behind layers of charm and charisma. At first glance, they may seem to be the epitome of likability, even admirable. But beneath this polished exterior lies something far more sinister. These evil individuals are masters of deception, experts in manipulating perception to their advantage. They are not easily recognized, for they do not appear with horns or malice written across their faces. Instead, they wear the guise of warmth and charm, leaving many unsuspecting. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, remind us that appearances can be deceptive. They urge us to rely not on the surface but on our ability to observe and reason. It is through careful observation, through quiet contemplation and clear thinking, that we can begin to see beyond the facade. By remaining grounded in logic and wisdom, we become equipped to discern the true character of those around us. In a world filled with distractions, the Stoic path teaches us that vigilance and reflection are our most powerful tools to uncover the hidden nature of evil, ensuring that we are not easily deceived by those who wish to manipulate us. Today, Wisdom Vault 365 bring you to 5 signs that show an evil person. Sign number 1, self-centered behavior. In life, we often encounter individuals who make every interaction revolve around themselves. They dominate conversations, eager to be the loudest voice in the room. Their need for attention is insatiable. Every story must circle back to their own experiences. Yet beneath the surface of their confidence lies a subtle art of manipulation. They elevate themselves by quietly diminishing others, masking their condescension behind humor or false concern. The Stoics caution against becoming entangled in such games. They teach us the virtue of apatheia, emotional detachment, not as indifference, but as mastery over our reactions. When faced with self-centered behavior, the wise observer does not engage in silent competition or feel slighted by the other's need for dominance. Instead, they step back, seeing these acts for what they truly are, a display of insecurity wrapped in arrogance. Consider a person who constantly interrupts conversations to share their own achievements. The natural response might be irritation or the urge to assert oneself in return. But the Stoic mind remains unmoved. By observing without judgment, we strip these behaviors of their power. The manipulative need attention to thrive. When denied that fuel, their influence fades. True strength lies not in matching their self-importance, but in remaining calm and unwavering, like a deep ocean untouched by surface storms. Sign number 2, lack of empathy. One of the clearest signs of a corrupted mind is the absence of empathy. These individuals view the suffering of others not with compassion, but with indifference, or worse, quiet satisfaction. They dismiss others' pain as weakness, downplay genuine struggles, and take subtle pleasure in the failures of those around them. Such behavior poisons the very fabric of human connection, creating an environment where trust withers and fear takes root. To the Stoics, empathy is not merely a virtue, it is a duty. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we are made for cooperation, like feet, hands, or the rows of upper and lower teeth. To lack compassion is to work against nature itself. When we encounter those who thrive on the misfortunes of others, the wise path is not anger, but understanding. Their cruelty reflects their own inner turmoil, a mind enslaved by jealousy, fear, or pride. Imagine a colleague who mocks a struggling co-worker, finding humor in their mistakes rather than offering help. The immediate impulse might be outrage, or the desire to confront their callousness. But the Stoic remains steady. They see beyond the surface, recognizing that the true failure lies not in the mocked individual, but in the mocker, a soul trapped in pettiness. Responding with kindness and quiet dignity, the Stoic not only upholds the virtues of justice and compassion, but sets an example that no cruelty can break. Sign number 3. Manipulation and gaslighting. Manipulation is one of the most insidious forms of control. It does not strike with force, but corrodes the mind from within. Skilled manipulators distort reality, planting seeds of doubt in others' perceptions. They rewrite events, deny their own harmful actions, and subtly shift blame, making their victims question what they know to be true. This tactic, known as gaslighting, binds others not with chains, but with confusion. Consider a friend who consistently denies hurtful remarks they made, insisting that you are overreacting or misremembering. The initial reaction might be frustration or self-doubt. But the Stoic pauses, separating emotion from observation. They ask, what do I know to be true? What evidence supports my memory? By anchoring themselves in reason rather than the opinions of others, they strip the manipulator of power. In a world where deception often thrives, clarity of mind becomes both armor and weapon, allowing us to see through falsehoods without losing ourselves in the process. The Stoics warn against surrendering our judgment to others. Epictetus reminds us that while others may control external events, our mind remains our own if we choose to guard it. Reason is our strongest defense against deceit. When faced with manipulation, the Stoic does not react impulsively or engage in endless arguments. Instead, they step back, examine the situation with calm objectivity, and trust the clarity of their own perception. Sign number 4. Controlling behavior. Controlling behavior often disguises itself as care or concern, but its true nature is rooted in the desire for dominance. Those who seek control over others rarely do so through open force. Instead, they use subtle tactics, withholding resources, isolating individuals from friends, or creating fear through constant criticism. Their goal is to strip others of autonomy, making them dependent and easier to manipulate. The Stoics hold freedom as one of the highest virtues, not just freedom of action, but freedom of mind. Epictetus reminds us that while external circumstances may be taken from us, our inner will remains untouchable. The key to resisting control is setting firm boundaries and recognizing that no one has power over our thoughts unless we allow it. Imagine a partner who discourages their loved one from seeing friends or making decisions without permission. At first, these actions may appear as protective gestures, but over time they become chains. The Stoic response is not to rebel with anger, but to quietly reclaim independence. They remind themselves, what is truly mine cannot be taken. My mind, my choices, my dignity. By calmly asserting boundaries and refusing to surrender their inner freedom, the Stoic breaks the grip of control without becoming consumed by resentment. True strength lies in the ability to walk away from those who seek to dominate, knowing that the highest form of power is mastery over oneself. Sign number 5. Pathological lying. Pathological lying is a quiet poison that erodes trust and fractures reality. Those who lie habitually weave falsehoods not only to deceive others, but to craft a version of the world where they hold control. Their lies are often subtle, small distortions mixed with truth, making them harder to detect. Over time, this constant dishonesty creates confusion, leaving others uncertain of what to believe. The Stoics, devoted to the pursuit of truth, warn against placing blind faith in the words of others. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to accept nothing as true which is not self-evident. Instead of reacting to every claim at face value, the wise observer practices careful observation. They examine actions rather than promises, patterns rather than isolated words. Consider a colleague who always blames others for missed deadlines or makes excuses for broken commitments. At first, the lies may seem harmless, even believable, but the Stoic mind looks deeper. They ask, does this person's behavior align with their words? Have I seen this pattern before? By relying on reason rather than emotion, they strip away illusion and see reality for what it is. To seek truth is not to become cynical, but to remain anchored in clarity. The Stoic trusts their own judgment, refusing to be swayed by charming words or empty apologies. In a world clouded by deception, the clearest mind becomes the hardest to deceive. Setting boundaries. In a world where manipulation and deceit often go unnoticed, setting boundaries becomes an essential act of self-preservation. The Stoics teach that our greatest responsibility is to guard our own mind, to protect what is truly ours. Establishing boundaries is not an act of hostility, but of wisdom. It is a quiet declaration that our peace is not up for negotiation. Assertiveness is the first step. When faced with those who seek to control or diminish us, the Stoic does not lash out in anger. Instead, they speak with calm clarity, stating what they will and will not tolerate. This is not a demand for others to change, but a firm reminder of where their influence ends. Self-care follows closely behind, not indulgence, but the daily practice of tending to our mind and spirit. Just as a fire must be fed to burn brightly, our inner strength needs regular nourishment through solitude, reflection, and meaningful actions. Finally, the Stoic understands that walking away is sometimes the greatest act of self-respect. Distance is not weakness. It is a conscious choice to protect one's inner freedom. Imagine a friend who constantly belittles your choices or disregards your boundaries. The wise response is not endless argument, but quiet removal from their reach. Your mental health is a precious gift, one that deserves to be defended. If this journey into Stoic wisdom resonates with you, subscribe to Wisdom Vault 365 for more timeless lessons on mastering the art of life. True strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself.